Good afternoon. So recently I started offering local takeout meals for people in town and surrounding areas. So I started buying brisket at more of a wholesale size, if you will. Just buy the whole brisket, cut it up here at home, food seal it, throw it in the freezer or cook it. And I've been doing a lot of slow cooked meals, a lot of roasts, and it doesn't all get used. So in order to keep buying the meat so cheap, I figured I'd start offering it local at cheap meal prices. So we're gonna try it, and we're gonna cut up a brisket here today and see how it goes. Come hang out. Okay, so I got my brisket, I sharpened my knife. A little sharpener I got a long time ago. God, it works good. Okay. Now we're going to separate the brisket. Do this in big old chunk, right? I'm not an expert at this. It's just something I've just ran into. I watched a video on YouTube, of course, on how to split it. I'm not the best at it. I'm by means no expert at all. But what he showed me was you want to separate this thick roast part here from this flat roast here, this brisket part. And of course we got tons of fat on the back, and he said leave about a 1/4 inch of fat back here. So I don't know what we got right now, but it looks like we're about there right now. So I'm going to go ahead and make the slice through that fat right there. This is the tough part. Just kind of peeled it back, and I got not the best knives. So it is sharp though. And you just keep coming through there like that. Let me turn that around so you can see. I'm going to keep coming through that. You can see there's fat on both sides. And that's why I just keep slicing in fat on both sides. So keep my fingers out of the way. Do some left hand cutting. And just keep coming through this right here. All right, see that? Go a little deeper here. And then you want to slice through this fat layer so you get that flat, so you get this flat piece separated. Now, like I said, I'm not an expert. I go slow because I don't want to cut my hand off. But if you're going to buy meat, this is the way you're going to want to start to do it. I see how the grocery stores are these days. It's getting ridiculous. So if I can offer some local folk some decent, healthier food than McDonald's, then I'm gonna, and at the same time, I'm gonna try to eat healthier as well. I think I might have missed this one here a little bit. I think if I come in here, probably just get rid of that whole chunk of fat. And this round, I'm gonna actually save the fat on this. These big chunks. This one wasn't bad. The last one I got was really full of fat. This one's not too bad. And I'm gonna go ahead and try to make beef tallow. My Hawaiian friend told me about that. I think I'm supposed to go through here, honestly. All right, and then just cut that, yep. Get the thumb out of the way. Right there we go. Now we got the big roast, the round one here. What he was saying is you try to make this pretty level around when you cut it up, but since I'm doing a lot of slow cooking, and I'm probably gonna do some smoking on this one, she's probably gonna get just chunked up. I'll probably just cut this one in chunks. And look at that. I'm a big crock pot guy. I love the crock pot. It's easy. The food to me is like comfort food. I just, whatever you throw in there with it comes out absolutely delicious. This seems like a little excessive over here. And then I started throwing some of the fat chunks out to the critters. And oh my gosh. They must have went and told the other critters, because now it's like everybody's showing up for a piece of fat chunk. Squirrels, birds. I don't know, maybe I'll just leave that. You know, I'm not much of an expert on this, like I said, so I know I got the flat here, and I think I'm going to take some of this fat off the back of that because it looks disgusting and it doesn't need to be there. Okay, keep in mind I've disinfected everything. Yeah, I think what I'm going to do is try to take some of this down here. I need a real knife. I'm not big on that fat. Definitely not as fatty as the last one, I'll give it that. I'm assuming every piece is probably going to be different. That off here. See what we cut into. Yeah, mostly fat, see? No need for all that. My chef friend's probably freaking out at the way I'm cutting. Remember, I'm not a chef. I am not a butcher, although my father is. I am not. Watched the video, decided that I don't want to pay $12 a pound for beef. And if you buy this whole brisket, this particular one ended up being about $71, right? What's that? What's that in steaks? What's that, 7 steaks you get out of that? You bought steaks? Yeah, pure fat. This way, you get it all, right? And I'll tell you, I still have meat left over in the freezer right now from the last brisket, and I only made one roast meal out of it, two. Made 2 meals out of it. There's a lot of fat in here still. Yeah, I think it still should come down. Kind of no need for all that. It's got enough fat in it to where when you slow cook this stuff, it falls apart in your hands. Absolutely mouth watering. See if I can just shave that down. I don't know what I'm dealing with here. Oh yeah, big chunks of fat. Big chunks of fat. Okay. My father would be appalled, I'm sure, at my butchering skills. I'm not a hunter. I know how to clean fish. That's about it. So we'll leave it on the lake. I'm sure there's a ton of you out there that are much, much more experienced than I am here. I don't know. It seems like it's probably just garbage knife, hey? I don't know. I use it with what I got, right? There we go. That's a little better. Start to see meat in there. Some of this stuff just looks nasty anyway, like I wouldn't want to eat it to begin with. How's that for knifing skills? My goodness, don't do this at home unless you know at least how not to cut yourself, but it's worth it. It's worth it for the money and what you're getting. And this is actually a Wal-Mart brisket. Walmart does offer a lot of stuff in bulk. See this? I don't want to cut towards me, but there's I don't know, the guy I watched do this had a boning knife, so it seemed like it was much sharper than this. This is what I'm trying to get out. That stuff there is pure fat. The other one, the other brisket, this part right here was just such a big, it was like a grapefruit sized hunk of fat. It was immense. That I could almost leave on. Don't need to though. This stuff just looks disgusting. So that can come off. Ugh, it looks disgusting. Not something I even wanted to eat. So, oh God, please don't criticize me too bad, all right? I really don't know what I'm doing, but I know cheap food when I see cheap food. And if I can get brisket cheap, then I'm gonna do it. And I'm gonna butcher it up. Literally. This is the piece that I wanted off. This was gross. I don't know what the hell. It looks brown and nasty. Yep, gone. There you go. That one's a little chunky there. You can literally say I butchered it, right? Because I'm butchering the shit out of this thing. There. I think that's about it. Chunk there. There. This knife is not the knife to be using. See that big old fat in there. You can almost feel that it's really thick. This. That looks disgusting. Get that out of there. Tons of fat in there, so no worries. No worries. This one I'll keep, and then let's see what we can do with this other one. Probably just gonna food seal these up, so I'll probably just cut these. Probably should go across here. We'll get to that in a minute. Off. There we go. There we go. Oh, isn't that nice? There we go. There's another big old hunk of fat right there. Get that out of here. That out of here. Let's see. That's just enormous fat right there. See what I can butcher this one up into. Really not too much on this. But we'll take it down a little bit. That's where I cut into it. That was my mistake. So what if I just come back here, bring that down there? Oh God, this knife sucks. Or this stuff's just really tough. Or both. Alright, now I get this big old hunk out of here. See that? It's all fat. Oh, I cut into the meat. has some thick fat right there. So I'm gonna try to get underneath it, but I kind of cut it wrong over here to begin with. But all right, we'll just move on. It's gonna become a meal. This isn't for fancy dinner plating. It's not for a restaurant. It's just for us. Ooh, big fat. Hello, dear.
Hi.
I'm cutting fat. Don't you wish it was this easy? Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and cut off about 10 pounds this weekend before I go for that walk. Wow. Yeah, this is thick. Just get under it. There we go. My knife has got to be getting garbage again. Okay. There we go. So, years ago I was doing well in the LED business, selling LED lights and grow lights and such. And I had made a good profit that year. And I kept seeing these stories about the kids in school not getting their lunches, and man, it just pissed me off because my grandmother was a lunch lady her whole life, actually. So she enjoyed cooking. She enjoyed cooking for the kids. She made the menus. It's back in the day when they did it all. Those ladies did everything in there. And she would never let a kid go hungry. She rode the school bus to work. She just wouldn't do it, right? She enjoyed the feeding people. She enjoyed feeding the kids. And when I seen those stories of these kids getting turned down for lunch, I ended up going to the school and seeing if any of our school had these kids that weren't able to graduate because they owed on a lunch tab. It just sounded ridiculous, but it was true. And that's where we're at now. And it just blows my mind that we're not taking care of each other anymore. Everybody's out for themselves. So I paid a lunch tab. I paid it anonymously. I didn't want to make them feel any way. So I paid anonymously. I contacted the school and they set me up with a student. You know what? You can all do the same thing in your local schools. You call your school, you get a hold of the nutrition personnel there. There's a head person there in charge, and they will explain to you how you too can help a student out and a family that can't afford lunch. Because we all know during COVID what happened. These schools kept serving lunch, didn't they? Because they knew if they didn't serve lunch that these kids weren't going to eat. And that's a damn shame. Especially in a little up-and-coming town where I live. That's a damn shame. Okay, I'm just trimming that out. You see how that's coming? Getting that big, thick fat. Let me turn this around. Maybe I can get it this way. There we go. Just kind of shaving it down until we start to see some meat. You know, you don't want to eat all that fat. I mean, don't get me wrong. It's delicious when it's done, but it's just excessive. Yeah, so don't be afraid to call your local school, nutrition, get a hold of the nutrition department, and you too can pay for someone's lunch so that they can graduate, or just pay for a student's lunch for the year. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that either. There's no cheap food anymore. There's no cheap groceries anymore. If you're not going to the farmer's market, or if you're not going to start buying this stuff in bulk, you're going to start paying out your ass for it. Let's see if I can get that without cutting my hands off. There we go. You can. Try to get underneath that fat layer. There we go. Now, what do I got left here? This, a little bit here, that. I could just leave that. Or I could just cut it right off. There we go. There we go. A little bit here. And this little ridge right here, I gotta get out. Go. Getting there. Like I said, I'm not an expert. This should probably take, what, 10 minutes? But I got time. I'm not in a rush. Helps me think and gather my thoughts. Need to get that chunk of fat out of there. There we go. There we go. Leave that, leave that. See if we can get this. It's been a hell of a year. And I for sure can't wait till it's over. I want to start a new year. I want to start new videos. I want to start a new life, basically. And I got to get myself out of the same old routine. So it's time to step out of my comfort zone. Let me just get this piece here. And then we'll probably be done with this. Chunk out of there. Yep. There we go. I'll show you. I don't know if you can see the fat pile I got going on. Oh yeah, you can see it. Good on you. Okay, that's basically what we've got here. Well, I guess you could just keep going here. This stuff I'm not too worried about. Oops. Always put your hands behind the knife. Okay. That's it. I'll tell you what I'm going to do here. I'll cut that here. And then I'll seal that. That here. This is the flat part of the brisket. I'm sure I got somebody out there freaking out, right? Wrong way to cut it. For sure. Not worried about it though. It's all getting slow cooked. It all comes out delicious. Even just, there we go. That's how I do it. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to seal these in food saver. And I'll probably leave some out so that I can make some meals. And I'm definitely going to freeze a whole bunch of it. Like that. And then we got the other one here. As I said before, everything's been disinfected like 3 times. So please don't yell at me. And then, you know what I should do? I should probably weigh it all at the end too. See what we get for fat. Might take a minute though. What do you guys think about this? Maybe a little more here. Maybe a little more right there. Look at that. Almost like it didn't even want to be on there. There. All right, this one. Jeez, it still does kind of have big chunks on here. This one we'll do here. There we go. There we go. Give it a little bend. You can literally see where the fat's in between the muscle. Get that one off of there. Okay. Anybody want to donate me a nice knife, let me know. It's gonna be a minute before I can get one, but I'm just kidding. I'll make do. I'll make do. People giving me stuff. There we go. Unless it's money. You can take the money and make more roasts. Make more brisket. Alright, let's just look at that big old roast right there. I'm just gonna bang that out. Right? See how thick that is? I'll slow cook that. One shot right there. Slow cooker. And I'm gonna split this one. There we go. What do you think? Big pile of fat, right? Big. That's about, I guess that's about the same as I got before. Big pile of fat, big pile of meat. I'm not gonna keep the fat. I'm gonna probably boil it down. I might. This one's not as good as the other one, but I was thinking about making some tallow, some beef tallow, and we'll see how that goes. Might just feed it to the dogs and the animals outside and the birds. They seem to really like it. The big crow loves it. That's a nice one too. All right, so that's how I do it. And I'll take this and I'll dump this into a big Ziploc baggie, a freezer baggie. You can freeze that, use that for later. These are gonna get frozen and some are gonna get cooked. That one's probably gonna get trimmed a little more. Fat on there. It's like a fat, it's like a beefy fat. I don't know, I'll keep that part. All right, that's it. I'm done playing with the food. I'm gonna get this stuff food sealed and then I'm gonna get it frozen. I'm gonna cook some and okay, I got my food sealer ready. Sorry about that. My rubber gloves. Always be safe. And I got everything bagged up, and we'll seal them up, and we'll weigh them out. Okay, here we go. Let's see how much meat we got out of that. Oh, it feels heavy. All right, 10.74. We got 10 pounds. That's only a 9-pound scale, so I'm not how sure that works. But we got 10 pounds of meat. If you enjoyed this, please like, share, and possibly subscribe. I'll be bringing all kinds of content. Thank you very much.